Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing tonight?
Doing really well so far. Let's talk to Frankie. Frankie, how are you doing tonight?
Boys. Philly was a thing, wasn't it?
It was special.
Let's talk about it, shall we?
It was special. That's a good
special.
way to put it for sure. Yeah, I'd have to say to me, I had like Sunday morning JCW vibes. What was your experience, Frank?
That's the perfect way to put how the show felt. It very much felt like a hangover afternoon show. I know, we shouldn't have expected too much out of this show specifically because it was a tack on, Big Fed pay-per-view day show. But I feel like this show had less to it. I shouldn't say less to it. My first thought is, what's the last time GCW did a pay-per-view tack on show? It was Dream On. And if you didn't know better, Dream On was a standalone show that had nothing to do with any other major company's pay-per-view happening that day. This definitely felt like, oh yeah, there's a show going up in North Philly. All right, we're gonna do something across town. Come swing by. It's kind of douchey to say it like that, but it definitely felt like, this was a Sunday morning. This was not a GCW caliber show. This was a JCW caliber show. John hit it on the nose right away.
Well, I think we just got rated right here too by Effie's clan had just come in. I see a big chump just came through. Reed Harris Cooper is now with us. We might as well just get our hellos in. Hello to Jim. Jim said hi to you today or a couple days ago, right, Frankie?
We sure did. Yes. I saw a couple people from the chat at the show on Sunday. I saw Jim. I saw James was there as well. There might have been a couple other people. Intoxicants were had, so I may be forgetting a couple people. So, but yeah.
Yeah, Effie sending, Effie is all love. My wife had just come upstairs and then said something about Effie to me real quick. So, yeah, he's all love. It's back and forth across the fence here. We are neighbors. He's got that early 3-hour slot. We've got that late 3-hour slot. You know what though? I'm going to go with you then, Brant. What were your thoughts on this weekend show? Was there a vibe to you that kind of caught?
I actually didn't mind it. I feel like they did a lot of storytelling, and I think action-wise it delivered, but I think name value and kind of some of the matches got changed up and whatnot, but I think for what it was, it kind of disappointed at the end a little bit, but I kind of liked a lot of the stories being pushed further, especially since
there was a real go home SmackDown vibe.
I was about to say it was a go home show, so I was kind of at least happy that if we didn't get the full action, which is fine, rest them for the collective. I'm all cool with that too. But Joey come out with the promo, Alec, there's a lot of good fun things I think there's going to talk about in the middle and at the beginning, but at the end, I think action wise, it did fall flat. Just by name wise, and kind of what we were going in expecting. But I think, yeah. Well, at the end, I want to ask your opinion on the main event, some stuff, Frank.
Oh, of course.
Before I forget, also Great One Clown, hello. ZMZO, hello. Yeah, people are just rolling in left or right, and this is our crew. So the Tuesday night crew is rolling into place here so far. Let's see what I have on my next little tab here. That opening in Philly, Frank. You were up there front and center on TV.
I did not. Okay, listen. I am not the gimmick fan that my reputation precedes me with. I just keep falling into these bits. Okay, I'm tall, I'm fat, and I've got funny hair. People like that, and it makes a good stooge on TV. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, just you were right there. And I just wanted to say that, you had to feel like you were part of leading the charge there. Mm-hmm. Everyone's pounding those mats. That is really the GCW spirit. And I just want to say forward into, the next fan base that it looks like we're going to be seeing in Las Vegas. Same thing, man. Keep showing that enthusiasm, because as far as I know, I don't know any other companies today that encourage their fans to just get up there and just, aggressively just beat on that mat, just be primal with it. So this is GCW. I mean, you paid to be there. Get up there and have the GCW experience, especially when it's opening the show. It looks so good live.
Yeah, for we could have had a better turnout total, but the room filled out at least. That was the most important part. The room looked full enough on TV. This is the same room we've been in before here at Harrah's. It's got that real carousel room vibe to it. The only issue today was that the lighting was super off balance. Like the lighting was super harsh. I think somebody in the chat mentioned it. Forgive me, I can't see who did it. Yeah, Clown. Yeah, the lighting was super harsh from the one side of the room that looks like it's made up to be a stage, because I was looking up at the ceiling. There is part of the room that definitely is rigged and lit to be a quote unquote stage, even though it's a flat floor ballroom all across. But there was something about lighting just being off on Sunday. So
I agree with you. I at the beginning, I kind of felt like carousel room, seeing the colors like up top and everything. I was like, oh man, I kind of like this venue. It does, yeah, it kind of brought it back home a little bit of the carousel, but with the color. But that's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah,
the turn the light off chant in, I think it was match 4.
and it was Ashley and Zeta.
Match 2. Yeah, turn the lights off chant.
All right. Tonight we are covering GCW's Philly Special from the Harrah's Casino and Racetrack in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And our first match was Wasted Youth versus Miracle Generation.
Welcome back, Wasted Youth. They were last seen on New Year's Eve 2023 at GCW's Aftermath, where they lost a challenge for the GCW tag titles to Violence is Forever. Also, welcome back, Miracle Generation. They were last seen together on August 21st of 2024 at GCW's Back-to-Back, where they lost a challenge for the GCW titles to Violence is Forever. That was a hell of a run during that.
Did you repeat your notes there by accident, John? Was there? Did you copy your notes? Copy paste your notes by accident there, John?
All the way down to the voice inflections. Yeah. Dylan has a beard now, looking a little Jesus-y. I have to say I like it. It works for him. Also, I'm really happy to see him back. As far as I had heard, I just didn't know when or if we'd see him again. That was the day. So, that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, he had kind of fallen off. He just fallen off the face of the earth. No, no Twitter, no nothing. He was just, gone.
So then in my notes here, I have that Miracle looks like a tighter tag team than they were when I last saw them. The natural progression that any tag team will see when they put in effort, 2 different styles capable of blending here. And I feel like they captured that magic really well. Any thoughts on the Miracle Generation?
You literally had almost the exact notes I had. I wrote, it was nice to see both teams back in Miracle Generation. They looked way better than I remember seeing them last. And I've kind of seen them in other promotions outside of GCW since their last time at GCW. And I've seen how much they both improved as singles competitors even too. So seeing it on GCW, I had the exact same notes. They're so good right now. And I thought it was a great way to start the night with all that action.
It was definitely the right match to just, get the crowd hot right out of the gate. It was enough action. It was fresh enough faces that even me, the regulars, didn't know what to expect coming out of that match. So we were pleasantly surprised. It was a great tag match. It was I can't get the words out. I enjoyed it so much. It's refreshing to see a good varied tag division again. That's what I wanted to say. I tweeted as much, saying that both of these teams need to be permanent fixtures in the tag division, just because it is so shallow these days. We need the depth there, especially because our outgoing champions were a slapdash tag team that just happened to work in Garbage Daddies. Our other major tag team right now is VIF. All the other tag teams are scattered to the 4 winds right now. We could use a Miracle Generation and a Wasted Youth going forward.
I agree with you. A Miracle Generation. I don't think Wasted Youth is quite there yet, but I think they're a great tag team for to build up heels. You're gonna need some tag teams to win and lose. But I think they're really in a good position to kind of build their value and kind of worth with the fans with losses that they show out on. But I agree with you on Miracle Generation. I wrote in my notes. We was wanted to kind of see them be a new kind of face to take over the Garbage Daddies, to, as you said, a fresh face to take over. And as impressive as they looked that night, and I know I've seen them in the past, I wrote in my notes, them as a face would be a nice challenge for Violence is Forever. And a couple minutes later, I had to change that note as they teased the heel turn at the end. And I was like, and then I was like, I kind of like them as a heel team, like their cocky, brash attitude, and something different from them. I think it's needed too in our tag division, as you said.
I'm not even worried about alignments at this point. I'm literally just worried about new faces in the division.
Yep. I agree, but I like the stories that they both can tell either way.
You could change your heel face alignment as quick as you can change your shirt these days. So I mean, I'm not worried about who's coming up the face in a fucking match these days. If it's gonna be, oh, they're gonna be heels, they're gonna be faces, whatever. I need boots on the ground in the division first, and then we can figure out who's good, who's bad. The only thing I'd like to pull up a couple of comments I've seen in the chat right now. Great one said, as a team, Wasted Youth. This was the first time for Wasted Youth, but they were both back at the Hammerstein Royal. Thank you for the correction, Stat Boy. Thank you. And the other one is Austin Luke is better as a solo artist. I would tend to agree. If we're going to have these guys in as tag teams for the time being, great. If you want to split them up later, but I think we do need just the established tag teams in the division right now.
I would love to see what's all going.
Oh, I was just going to say that I feel like this really fits GCW's youth initiative that they have been slowly working towards, to a point to where they've mentioned that on TV, on Triller TV, the last couple months. And here are, some of the fans going, hey man, we really like these guys. And I can tell you just by watching chat, anyone who's really looking here, everyone is behind all these young guys. And again, I think fresh blood is good. These guys are talented. And what Reed was saying about Austin Luke being better as a solo artist, that kind of fits in with what GCW really wants, which is versatility. If someone doesn't show up, we need a good solo artist. So, he serves many purposes there. And that's the kind of GCW utility that we seem to always look for in our performers. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
And I agree right here. Great one. I wouldn't put Marcus in that tag team. I would love to see Dylan McKay and Facade be a tag team. I think their unique styles and creativeness would be like a fun, like I said, even if they're like built as a team to lose, to build up heels or whatever, as like you were saying, like I just think they would have some fun matches, and their styles put together are very unique, and I think would blend together and as a cool, exciting tag team to watch.
Oh, I almost got bit by the microphone thing before you went further there. Reed Harris said to Great, when Wasted Youth are broken up as a team everywhere but GCW, another reason to watch them at GCW. Enjoy it while you can, because something tells me if you're not seeing it anywhere else and we're going through this progression right here, enjoy it. We're probably not going to see it anymore after this.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got to the rest of your notes there, John.
Probably not. Austin took 2 unexpected knees to the chest from his own partner. He wasn't phased, but that was still funny. It didn't matter because in the end, Wasted Youth picked up that win. Our winner here, Wasted Youth. I put a dynamic / adrenaline fueled opener, a very fitting opening to any GCW event.
Absolutely. It out of anything that appeared on this card, this was the match you should have put as the opener. I don't see anything else that could have fit in the opening slot better than this tag match, even though it may have been worthy of a slot later down the card. I think that this was the right call to open the match. I mean, open the show with. So, and
I like kind of how it seemed to start a story with Miracle Generation. Like even like that's not a story like that we expected to even happen or something in it. But as you said, as the injuries pile up in the tag division and getting these new faces right away, like they could go anywhere with the Miracle Generation. And I was actually shocked that they took the loss here. So them kind of building up Wasted Youth goes to everything what I was saying earlier, as they were being used to take the losses. I think them picking up the win, in my opinion, was surprising, and I had that in my notes as well. Our next matchup is Ashley Vox versus Zeta Steel.
Ashley Vox, welcome back. She hasn't been seen since her debut at Effie's Big Gay Brunch 2020, where she teamed up with Delmi EXO as Team C Stars to take on the team of AC Mack and Ashton Starr. The crowd did their own count out with a ring the bell chant from fans at the 10. I wondered why we count 10 for a count out, but we won't do the same thing outside the ring. Yeah, as you were saying, Frank, this was the match where we had the turn the lights off chant. That was kind of comical and so GCW, if you want to talk about old school. I also love that fish on a hook finisher that Ashley has, but it wasn't enough here. Our winner was Zeta Steel. What were your thoughts on this one?
Brent, if you,
I was just gonna say I thought this was like one of the best performances of Zeta Steel. I think she has like really got to shine there, and Ashley Vox played a good played her role very good. But I think this one showcased Zeta, probably one of the Tony Deppen match was as well, but I think character-wise, she looked very comfortable. And for me, I want to see more Zeta Steel like this and that comfort level and these kind of matchups to showcase her talent more. And I think she did a great job in this one.
I think you said it previously when I was here, John. I think that Zeta represents the platonic ideal of what a gimmick should be if a old school WWE Divas type character existed today. And I think this match very much was forwarding that concept for Zeta. And you've said it before with other people, most notably Megan. I think that this is how we should be pushing Zeta if we only know we have so much time with somebody. That it's not the most important match in the world, but it is a match that stands on its own, but also still pushes what Zeta's about, because GCW doesn't know Zeta that well, and you're playing to the lowest common denominator, so you're gonna baby steps with the character and all that. So it definitely helps all over. I'm sorry, I can't get my words out tonight. Jesus Christ. But no, this was obviously, it was a match for Zeta, but Ashley was just involved with it. That sounds shady for me to say it like that, but that's what it was.
Yeah, and it's just showing what we were thinking too. I mean, I said enjoy her while you can, because you're going to blink and she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if we see Ashley Vox somewhere again, I'm really not going to complain. I feel like with her, she's a veteran. I don't think we've seen everything out of her yet. So, fingers crossed, maybe we just see her again, maybe doing something more.
I'm going to check cage match for her really quickly, because I should have done this before. Forgive me.
Yeah, well, she was at Big Gay Brunch 2020. I think that's the last time we've seen her. So maybe there's a possibility we see her in some form of a scramble or something at Big Gay Brunch again. Yep. Great one says, I wouldn't expect this to be a one-off either.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we'll be seeing her collective weekend.
Fingers crossed. Well, yeah, so that one was wild. Brant, was there anything else you wanted to mention about that match?
No, I just said that one. I know we kind of been a little bit hard on Zeta for her couple appearances, but that one was the performance that I knew that she had, and I want to see more of, and I can't wait to see her just keep improving.
I've been really nice to her. I just want you to know, if anybody's going to kill her, kill anybody, kill him. So we'll go on to that promo we had here. Alec had to face down two men to say what he has to say, including defending his brother Cole Radrick. Alec is kicking his feet. He's ready to go. He challenges and he's not backing down. Well, eventually Dominic makes him kiss the title and he's down. Ku delivers a curb stomp to Alec and then he is out. Ku said he wants a rematch for the GCW tag team titles in Las Vegas, but he needs a partner. So I'm going to stop right there and I want to talk to you guys about this. What's your feeling on this situation, and who do you think may be a potential partner for Alec Price?
B, I'll let you take this one.
Actually, I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts first. I think everybody knows where I'm going to go.
Reed said it right away. He said maybe it's Oliver. In our heart of hearts, I want it to be Jordan Oliver, but the cynical me who's been, connecting all the dots on the giant, on the giant board, looking for, with the red string, connecting all the pictures. Alec has been it looks to be teaming with Jimmy Lloyd and a couple of these other collective adjacent shows. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Jimmy Lloyd.
I'm kind of torn on this one because I'm with everyone else. It's kind of funny, but we all have Jordan Oliver coming down the pipeline. It's very, very awkward. And I mean, I'm saying this because people who can't see chat, I'm just letting you know it's sitting in chat also right now. Yeah, I also see Jimmy Lloyd on here. In my mind, I think they may want to keep with another young face. So we were just talking about him, possibility, maybe Marcus Mathers. But again,
I think Marcus is going to be tied up too much in the ID side of GCW for the time being as a singles guy to be pushed back into the tag division like that.
And Great One is down here screaming. He said, yeah, Price and Lloyd are teaming against Mao and Yoshihiko at BZW, during Mania weekend. Do you think that's where it's at? B is the ultimate decider here because he has high hopes.
Well, I'm caught in the middle here too. Like, I would like to see Garbage Express, East Coast Express. Like, I think that's an easy chant you can start up again. Alec, Price, and Jordan, I think, are just like two. I've always talked about them being kind of rivals, but them kind of being a tag team and maybe using that as a way to start a rivalry would be cool. But I'm also torn. I want to see Jordan come back with Mason. Mason has nothing for collective, and that kind of, as we were talking about in that interview, that kind of was like surprising and disappointing because I think he should, if he's, seems like they're holding him off for Jordan's return, but we haven't heard of anything of Jordan's return. This is like the only thing I had going into collective thinking that Jordan was going to return. And I want to get your guys' thoughts here in chat.
We have the cards for most of the shows for collective, right?
Yeah. The only place I could see him possibly returning would be in the cluster, but I think that would be kind of a waste.
That's a waste for
exactly. So I think here's what I'm thinking though. I think Jimmy Lloyd is, no disrespect to Jimmy Lloyd. I love that he's back and being away from Deathmatch Royalty, but I think that as a mystery opponent being built and kind of the way it might be built up at collective might feel like a disappointment. I feel like
always feels like
an RVD.
He's like, always sort of like that. Jimmy Lloyd always seems to be and Jimmy, like the field filler, just like the seat filler at an awards show, kind of like.
So what if Jimmy's?
I hate to be a dick to Jimmy Lloyd like that.
What if he's used to come out like, hey, like he is the one, and kind of like everyone maybe is a little disappointed, then like he gets beat up and brought to the back, and that's how we get a Jordan Oliver return and get a bigger pop. I think that would be a cool idea, a cool way to trick the fans with Jimmy Lloyd kind of being teased.
That's literally how it happened at what was it? Homecoming? I want to say Homecoming with the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Somebody correct me in the chat.
Yeah, Jimmy came out and won the belt first, and then all hell broke loose after that. After Gage, I think it was, or something like that. But I don't know. I just feel like if it is Jimmy Lloyd, once again, no offense, if it's just playing Jimmy, I think that would be disappointing. I don't know that, like a name that pops up in my head, but I don't think they would also use it as a one-off. And if so, how are you going to get the belt off of it? Is RVD? But I don't know. Like, I just feel Jordan's the only thing that kind of makes sense as a returning wrestler, and that's what mysteries are for. So I don't know. It is interesting to see, but as you said, John, I'm kind of torn being the Jordan fan here of his return. Do I want it being seen as a tag team with Alec Price and defending the belts? That would be a cool team to watch, or continue his singles feud with Mason, which I think both would be very better off doing right now in their career.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he could do both exactly.
I pulled up the card for Spring Break 9 just for comparison's sake, and we're going off the traditional Brett Lauderdale special 10 match card. We only have 9 matches listed on Cage Match right now, but somebody said the Cage Scramble, so that would be number 10.
So I wanted to bring that up because I'm lost on this match, because there's been so much. And I've had Game Changer turn off when I'm behind on the shows, like the notifications. So I'm behind on notifications. What is this scramble with Cage Scramble here?
There's 2 scrambles on Spring Break 9.
I know there's this senior scramble.
There's a senior
which
scramble.
I thought was I thought originally that was a senior scramble clusterfuck, which I'm only glad. I'm glad there's only 6 names there because they could have gone craziness. But okay, so and what's the
that
other
could
one?
go very poorly too if it was a senior clusterfuck.
I misread it the first time. I was like, that is going to be a crazy night. But okay, 6 people's good. What's the other one then? I'm sorry.
So it's just a cage match scramble.
But was that I thought was kind of felt like it was going to be for the.
Great one says the cage scramble is going to be on clusterfuck. Okay.
I got to pull this up myself here, trying to figure it out because I'm so lost on all this.
So yeah, there's only so if the cage scramble is on the clusterfuck show, that means that there's 9 announced matches on Spring Break proper, which is the senior scramble, JCW Masha versus Suzu, Saber versus Manders, Desperados versus Wagner family, Atticus versus Fuego, loser leaves town versus Mask, Manser versus Gabe Kidd rematch, Megan versus Bazilla, Suzuki and Trima, and then Sabu and Joey. So there is technically a 10 spot there, potentially, where that could be some sort of pop-up where Jordan and Mason do something. I don't know if Mason's even been announced for anything in Vegas, so
there's nothing that we saw.
Not that I've seen just yet. I want to circle back to something you had said there, B. I was also thinking about another young person that might be a face that would work here. And, well, I'll have to say it was Great One that really said it. Jack Cartwheel would be a good choice for a one night off. Between both Alec and Cartwheel, there's a lot of agility there. They may be able to put something interesting together. Even again, if it's a Band-Aid just to keep the team going until Cole comes back, but that's a long time. So just a Band-Aid on that. And then also you were talking about RVD. The thing is, online he was talking about how he doesn't like the glass and all the this and that, and he said that it turned him off from the company as a whole, AEW. So something tells me same thing. I have a feeling he's going to see what we do. But I can tell you, before he made that statement like a week and a half ago, I really thought that it was going to be RVD and Sabu versus Joey Janela and insert blank here. That was my original thinking, being that both are not 100% capable of doing what they normally would.
You can get at least 100% of a person between the two of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought maybe there would be that possibility, but, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But see, I think, I don't know. Wouldn't that be disappointing if they bring in a mystery partner and like they say they don't win? Like, it's got to make someone that makes sense. Like, if they do win, and someone that could defend the belts for a couple weeks, I'm assuming a couple shows. And Jordan's just the only one that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. It's at least like look at all the options we kind of talked about. So I was very happy with that. And someone said earlier we had a lot of promos this night, and I was happy to hear Alec get some mic time. Alec was awesome on the mic, and his emotions and the realness. I want to see more of it. That's what I was kind of saying earlier at the beginning of the show. I kind of enjoyed the pushing of the feuds, and Alec did a good job on the mic.
And Great One just said, but Cartwheel's already booked. Damn it, Great One. I listened to you the first time. I guess I'll listen to you this time.
There's no such thing as people are double booked on Mania weekend.
Collective weekend, yeah.
we gotta see who wins the Mike Bailey Award this year for most concurrent shows booked on.
I'm going Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre's got a hell of a weekend all over the place. And like kind of like one of those Mike Bailey, like all the different variations of matchups as well.
So I wanted to kind of back up for a minute because I've got something to say about this. I wanted to just say great job on Violence is Forever for stepping in and carrying this weight in a very weird time where someone needed to do it. And on this roster, quote unquote, I feel like they would be the best ones for that job. They seem like the most difficult to beat, we'll just say, of the people that we've seen come through recently. But I've been rough. But I want to say, like, they have my respect as performers and always will. Again, it's never personal, but I will say I was rough because we just wanted more like different with booking and whatnot, or we just wanted them to show more personality. That's not really a bad thing. That's just me looking at the car from afar going, I want to see if that motherfucker can go 120 miles an hour. That was kind of where I was. So I just wanted to say that I liked seeing them on TV when they were on AEW not that long ago, because I think they're hard workers. and they deserve a bigger pedestal. So I can also say here and just eat my words and say, you know what? Like I said, we've been rough on their booking and stuff, but they're damn good. And I feel like right now the title is in good hands.
Yeah. All right. Going to match number 3, as it is Jonathan Gresham versus Marcus Mathers.
All right. Welcome back, Jonathan Gresham. It's been over a year. A technical mastermind has returned to GCW for the first time since February 10th, 2024 at the Jersey Cup 2024, where he teamed with Mike Bailey to take on the Astronauts, another fantastic team. This was his 21st match for us at GCW. I don't feel like we've really had that many. B, you're a fan of John Gresham. How many matches do you think in the back of your head that we've seen out of him? Like for me, I'm like 10, 12, 15
live.
Just
saying in general.
You. It's legit.
I might have seen them all. Like to be honest with you, but yeah, I was. You said that a year. I was like, damn, it feels that long. But yeah, he did take some time off. Since the last time. Yeah, I think I've seen all his matches in GCW.
Well, I just wanted to step back and kind of let both of you talk about this match because I know both of you are kind of at least into him more than I am. And I just wanted to ask kind of a challenging question here. Did you feel like you saw the best that Marcus Mathers had to offer because he may have been a little muted by having to work with Gresham style? Or do you feel like, you know, Gresham kind of got his stuff in? And what I'm saying is this, and I'm just being challenging for a moment. In an average John Gresham match, is there many wrestlers that come out of there looking better than him going in? Or is it generally always Gresham going over because he completely dismantled someone's offense?
I mean, realistic answer, Gresham's the TV name. So of course he's probably going to get, he's going to be the get your stuff in guy.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to be the guy to go over. But you're saying, Marcus has to crank down to fight at Gresham's level. I see it the other way. I see it that, the whole restrictions breed creativity, work with what you have kind of side of it. Mm-hmm. This was a really good ground game match. And the ground game in this one match filled up, your daily requirement for ground game for an entire show. There was, this was entirely chain bullshit on the mat. There was almost no high flying stuff, which is how you usually see Marcus. Yeah, Reed said it right here. The goal of a Gresham match is surviving, and Marcus did that. Yeah, absolutely. It was very much a ground game match. I had to watch this back on TV because I was positioned squarely behind the photographer, so I could not see a single thing of this match live. I had to go back and watch it. The only thing I saw live was when Marcus pulled out the Rings of Saturn, which made Philly and South Jersey very happy. That's a whole other issue. I'm not gonna go into that. Just throw up the rings. Just whenever you're at a GCW show, wherever you are, just call out for the rings, and somebody will be looking at you like you have 3 heads. Enjoy it. Vegas, I want to hear cheers for the rings. I want to see the rings.
Done.
I'm gonna be cheering that during Bloodsport.
I have no issues with this match. This was my technical match of the night. I'll qualify by saying technical because I think our next one was probably my fun match of the night, but this was very much the technical match of the night. So nothing but good things to say about this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of talk like how you were saying. I think it gives Gresham's opponents the opportunity to showcase a different style of wrestling that they don't usually get a chance to, because I think they're afraid to not do it with someone like Gresham's level. Because if 2 people are on the same page and can do it like Gresham can, it doesn't look as good, and then they both look like fools. So I think a lot of people wait to bust out that kind of part of their game to showcase it until Gresham shows up. And I think Gresham is always going to get those in and just have fun with it, but then he's always given the everything the opponent has. And I think he does a great job of selling everything. And I'm a Gresham mark. I love everything he does. And I think this was a good match for Marcus to showcase a different skill set here. And I'm happy to see Gresham back and him got announced for LA. I think I texted you, John. That might have been enough to let me start planning for LA this coming up trip.
And I think just getting back to Gresham in general, I think Gresham is sort of the plutonic ideal of when people talk about these like style mismatch matches. He is very much the platonic ideal of the ground game. So if you put him up against like a hack and slasher like Manser, that's very much the technical mismatch. It's Gresham and Speedball are like the two guys you think of. Oh, the technical wrestler. Those are the only two names you can possibly think of.
Speedball or Saber?
I said Speedball, but
Saber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Christ. I'm still thinking about my Speedball award for fucking most matches in Mania weekend. Ignore me, Christ.
No. When that match got announced too for Bloodsport, I obviously popped. I called for that. The immediate time that both of them were announced, I'm like, that just is the only match that makes sense. That is probably one of the most matchups I'm looking forward to all of Collective, and I can't wait to see what those two can do. It's gonna be fun to watch. I'm excited for that, and I'm just happy to see Gresham back as always. All right. As Frank was saying, the next match is for the GCW Ultraviolent Championship as Matt Tremont defends the belt against Ruckus.
GCW chants break out as fans know they're seeing something special. We have two Hall of Famers going at it in the ring. I was laughing at the spot where both had sat on chairs. Matt thought they were going to punch the shit out of each other, and Ruckus just wanted to smoke. That's so GCW. Emil made a prediction early in the match and said, I wonder if Tremont will do the razzle dazzle. Well, Tremont hits the razzle dazzle.
He hit the razzle dazzle.
This was more of a standard hardcore match here, but I would say our winner in this one was Matt Tremont. I just want to start with this. How are you guys liking Tremont's run so far?
I was not thrilled with the UV belt going back to Tremont at Hammerstein, but I can see why it went to Hammerstein. It went to him at Hammerstein just for him being the established name in the hardcore division at the time. And now that we're seeing it, that he's going to stretch through at least, most likely till TOS as the UV champ. It doesn't bother me at this point, but it shines the light on the more systemic issue of GCW not having good challengers at the moment, and that extends across the UV belt, the tag division, and the World Heavyweight Championship. There's just no believable challengers at the moment.
I might have to disagree with you there.
Okay, here we go.
The Ultraviolent title, at least. I think there's more credible titles or challengers for that title. I agree with you on every other title. It doesn't seem like there is a credible challenger. I think Dr. Redacted's name is up there. I think Drew Parker, but he's gone for the moment at the time. But if we could get Justice doing as many shows as he was doing, I just think there's not enough consistent names we're using, and that's the problem.
Sure.
And I guess that's probably where you're ultimately heading down to, is that as well. But I don't know. I think as much as we've been using Dr. Redacted coast to coast everywhere, I wouldn't mind seeing him.
Doc was my heart pick for Hammerstein, but now that we have Tremont, and I can see that Redacted's probably the person to take it off of Tremont at this point, if Tremont doesn't go all the way in TOS. So
I have another name. I think Otis is a nice new name right now too.
Otis would be great if seeing him, divorced from his brother and just as a standalone UV guy. I can definitely see that too.
So if Atticus is working on pulling apart from Deathmatch just a little bit, when that pull apart happens, that's going to include Otis. So this is going to be a great time for Otis to kind of reestablish who he is and pull apart. When he pulls apart from Atticus, just say, you know what, you love Kogar Deathmatch. It's still alive and well right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, Addy is kind of becoming his own guy over there and establishing a different level of himself, might be a good way to put it here. So yeah, I think he's an instant problem. A champion immediately right now, I don't know about that, because I feel like even the older fans need to be just a little more acquainted with him in the GCW arena. Because I feel like I need to know him a little more, and then I'll be able to be invested in him just a little more. But everything I've seen is exactly what we need here. And I'll agree with you, B. Everything you said about the ultra violent division, that is the thickest division we have right now. And I love it. I'm not going to bitch about it 100. Like we have a lot of people it's very fluid going in and out right now. And, it just seems like on independent wrestling right now, it seems like that's the hot thing. We don't have lucha going wild. We don't have, it's just, that's where it is. So, I mean, fuck it. Let's hit that button hard. We've got a run to TOS coming up. Like, this is fucking great. I mean, if
we're literally in smack dab in the middle of deathmatch season right now.
Enjoy it and fucking bring it on, because I've even seen crowds that are so come alive when the weapons come out. We've seen it 100 times. All three of us have.
Doc and Hoodfoot. Watch the crowd before Doc and Hoodfoot 2-3 weeks ago. Christ, almost a month ago already now. Before on the Saturday show in AC. Watch that crowd, how hot they were before the death matches started and after the death matches started. That may not have been a deathmatch crowd, as in crowds that came specifically for deathmatch, but that entire crowd was so hungry once the weapons started coming out.
And I'm just loving all the new names that's being talked about. Mr. Danger, we got Bev coming back. Like I'm right there, John. I think that the UV division stacked right now, and I just kind of wish, as Frank was saying, I wish the other titles would be having challengers being built up instead of thrown at the champions one by one as random.
We're getting these monster of the week, just local hero style, title defenses that, mean absolutely nothing except for 7 minutes on the card, so it's like, whatever.
I'll be honest, this is the most excited I've been for TOS or the ultraviolent title just in itself in years. Like, this is not a knock on Rena. Like, whenever she was here, she was having crazy matches after crazy matches. I just feel like we didn't see that belt for such a long time. So Tremont, as you said, and I liked your point too, right at the beginning of this, I was the same way. I didn't want him being champion either, because I didn't think he would be defending it as often as he would be, but he's coming out to Vegas. He seems to be doing some West Coast shows. So now I'm very happy that at least he's living up to the title of champion and bringing it out to places that haven't seen that belt defended in quite a bit.
And maybe it's psychological just for me, but something feels gritty and rough, and I don't know what a better way to put it is, but deathmatch closing out the nights now. We're seeing a lot of deathmatch closing out the night, and I don't know, something about it feels naughty, and I kind of like it. It just,
I mean,
it should end.
The logical answer is, well, they don't have to clean up, for the main after the deathmatch. But yes, I definitely see what you mean. But it's like, okay, we're gonna go. It's what are the old lights out matches where the last match, the main event was technically unsanctioned and all that BS. It definitely has that same aura to it without having to explain why the lights go out to a bunch of drunks at the end of a show. So I don't disagree with death matches closing out the shows either. So I definitely see where you're coming from on that.
And our winner in this one, and still retained, was Matt Tremont.
All right. Our next match was the Scramble, as it was Braden Toon, Wes Barkley, Fuego del Sol, Jimmy Lloyd, and Griffin McCoy.
Now, it almost seemed like he was new to me, but Wes Barkley was last seen just a few months ago at the Do or Die Rumble from GCW's Till Infinity 2024. I also want to give a little credit here to Jimmy Lloyd. He sold a clothesline with an incredible backflip that was worth mentioning in notes. This also could potentially be the last time we see Fuego in a mask. That could be something very interesting. We also haven't seen Toon since August 25th of 2024 at Homecoming Weekend Night 2. So welcome back to Toon. And my highlight here, when it came to just spots, that Fuego Destroyer from the top rope was just fantastic. Yeah, this match to me was just wrapped around Fuego del Sol, and that's exactly who won in this one. What were you guys thinking on this match?
I think you said everything I could have said about this match already. It was a unannounced scramble that was built around the story aspects rather than being a match standing unto itself. This was probably, we'll call this part 2 of wrestling the play versus wrestling the sport tonight. With this scramble was built around Fuego's attack and Fuego's promo at the end rather than the other way around. So
yeah, I didn't like. I thought it was a fun, exciting matchup, but I was more happy to see Braden Toon back. It's been a minute since we've seen him, and someone buy Griffin McCoy a watch, please. Like later on, I have a little thing with Richard Holiday here. I think they should tag up and he should present him a real watch here because this Griffin McCoy.
I want one drawn on. I want him to play that he's crazy, that he thinks he has one. Why not? At this point, why
I
not?
mean, this is a sport where we have undead wizards, so I mean, yeah, why not? Like,
don't laugh at undead wizards, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, that will. Oh yeah, sorry, the promo.
I just wanted to write here, as soon as Fuego's hands are raised, out comes Atticus with an attack from behind. He has skewers. Fuego gets the upper hand. Atticus rolls out. He stands outside the ring, and Fuego is mad. He says he will see him in Las Vegas, and he will have to kill him. That was a badass little promo by Fuego. Again, he's golden on the mic. Great job.
Yep, I like the little storytelling as well to further. I thought they could have been done with it and not even done this one, but seeing Atticus even show up was surprising to me.
This one didn't even need to happen, but I'm glad it did. So
same.
Yep, perfect. Next match was for the GCW World Championship as Effie defends the belt against Tony Deppen.
So I wrote in my notes early, I was really looking forward to this one. They've known each other as coworkers for many years. And then Allie is on the mic talking. This is amazing. She was here unannounced. It was a nice surprise. Her recovery process, according to her, is 11 weeks in. She can get on a plane and travel, but no timetable for a true return. We should be seeing her also in Las Vegas. There you go, Allie fans. And I will say, I also miss Allie, truly. I was hard on her again years ago, but I came around in time like a year and a half ago. She's an ass kicker, but Allie still hasn't had her time yet. And I'm looking forward to the Queen's reign when it happens. So I just want to ask, do you guys think there might be some dirty tactics left in her? Or do you think that this leg break might have snapped her back to who she truly is, not what she thought she was?
I was thinking along those same lines when I watched this back, because obviously I was live, so I didn't know Allie was there until I watched the show back yesterday. The way Allie was speaking, she felt like she was face Allie again, rather than what I'm going to call heel Allie coming in out of the whole Hammerstein angle. But that could just be me thinking, oh, this is just her, Allie the person versus Allie the character, or this could be some sort of weird double cross, but that's me getting in my own head because we're too smart to be watching pro wrestling, and don't work yourself into a shoot and all that. But yeah, she was very much speaking like she was on the same team as Effie again. So I don't know what to make of that right now, specifically like because of the whole implications, because it was a blood feud for Hammerstein, and now she's calling Allie calling Effie her sister again. So
I think she kind of like was playing both sides. I think she did make like some comments like, yeah, Effie's still her sister, but like I thought there were some times where Effie kind of did some heel tactics to go back to Tony, and she made some comments like, "Oh yeah, Effie would kind of do those kind of things. You just get to see his true colors." I thought like maybe I misheard it. I could be here. Like it feels like I heard something completely different because I was just like, I feel different than you guys did. I feel like I thought I heard more of a heel with some tinge of a face. Like at the beginning, like to hear her voice was kind of surprising and shocking, and I was very happy to hear it as you said, because then I'm like, where are they going to go with this? And I thought I heard a very like thankful and respectful face Allie, but then as the match kind of started, I thought she kind of turned heel more, but maybe I misinterpreted what was being said.
Yeah.
So then let's flip it real quick. What would a heel Effie look like?
Lord of the Rings style power corrupts, just being corrupted by the man with the belt, and just being corrupted by the belt itself, being like, I'm the only one who can defend this, blah, 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 being the tyrannical one to say, I'm only going to defend this on my show, WrestleMania weekend type, instead of like the big traditional defense on spring break. It's only being defended on Big A brunch. I can see that as a seed to this power corrupting type heel Effie may be falling into.
I think the Dark Sheik promo too, like when she said we need a leader, not a ruler, was kind of goes to what you're saying, Frank. Yeah, like Effie's like, I'm the only one that can do this, so that's why I'm the one ruling over you guys, and I'm going to show you what it takes and what you guys.
And he is putting in the Road Warrior, like he is being the Road Warrior GCW champ, even at all these smaller, independent shows all over the country, defending the GCW belt in whatever match at whatever fed that GCW doesn't even acknowledge. So, I can definitely see that, being so blasé about it, or being like so focused on the belt itself that he's becoming a heel that way, rather than, how Mansoor became a heel with the money and the power and all that. So
storyline wise, I would love to see Allie come back on camera and go, I looked at my stuff from the night of the show. Who cut my boot? And there would be like a cut somewhere in the boot where it would easily bend one way or another, and be like, I was sabotaged. And maybe someone could just kind of reenact something, and Effie puts on his outfit and you could see him kind of over there messing with her gear. And she'd be like, you're the reason why I didn't win that night. Yada, yada, yada.
I think she's more than justified doing whatever she wants to do, coming back from this angle anyway against Effie. But
yeah.
I could absolutely see that, just for the old school, I don't want to say comedy aspect of it, but yeah, I could, for the drama of it. Yeah, I wouldn't hate it, but
they could use that too. Of as soon as Effie won, everyone left, and Effie was like, "That's why you guys all turned your back on me." Like, you guys were here with me, then when I got it, you all turned your back. That'd be a cool little way to introduce something like that. And I agree right here with Gray One. We've said it before. A heel Effie would be kind of fun, because I feel like it's been a long time and kind of way overdue myself.
Also, I didn't gush over it enough last week, but that Sheik promo was awesome. And I'd have to say probably the best Sheik promo we've heard at GCW. So, I mean, we'd have to go to Hood Slam or somewhere to really find something better, because
she doesn't really talk in GCW. So I can see that.
No, but I can tell you right now, if this is what comes out more often, then let Sheik work, because like you were saying, the difference between somebody who's a leader versus, like that was in Sheik's head. I know right now, anybody who's talked to Sheik long enough knows she's got some intelligence in there, and that little differentiation, I don't think many other people would have come up with, but that's very important. There's a big difference between the two. So
it popped me. I was like, oh, got him.
Got him. Yeah, and that's exactly what needed to happen there. Sheik needed a dagger, and I feel like that was a professional dagger. I want to roll back to the match here just to get my notes out of the way. Once that fight really went outside between Effie and Tony, that's when they became more aggressive with each other. Great camera angle on Deppin's knee to Effie's face in the corner. It looked nasty. And all three of us are agreeing, and we've seen enough of those knees to where we know where they go, how they're placed. The camera made it look deadly. For me, though, I felt like, even though 13 minutes here, I put more of a straightforward match, a few comedy spots, a few chairs. Effie hits that sack rider on Deppin that puts him through a door. And then Effie then wins here and retains the GCW World Championship. What were your thoughts on this one?
This was the most traditionally GCW match on the card. Even more so than Ruckus and Tremont. This was it's a fight, but there's still some dumb spots in it. There's still some, there's a little bit of garbage on the outside. This was everything you wanted out of what you think of a GCW match. This was in there.
With the two GCW legends too. I was happy to see just two legends fighting over the title. And I don't know. I feel like Tony could have made a little bit more of a bigger deal on social media and been a little bit more serious as a title shot. That's what I kind of felt like. I felt like it was too friendly a little bit. Like I don't know. I love Deppin, and we're just not getting him as much as before. But I wish in this one it would have been a little bit different. But I was
And
still
they
happy
did
to see
mention
him.
a lot about anniversary, like because Tony is
Yeah.
one of the OGs. So they did mention that, and I think that's not a coincidence leading into I think Brett's been teasing 10 years this summer. So I think that's got something to do with that. So we'll see.
I'm looking forward to that anniversary. I think it's going to be huge.
And I can only imagine it'll take place in the great state of New Jersey. So I assume I will be there.
Yeah, we'll get live coverage out of you on that one. B, was there anything else you wanted to mention on this match before we go to the promo there?
No, I liked it. Just like I said, I wish I had a little bit more serious Tony Deppen and but it was nice to see, as you said, as Frank said, a GCW style title match. It was perfect for those two to have.
There was a lot more dick-based offense than I expected out of Deppen in this. There was a lot of dick-based offense, not just from Effie, but even from Tony, just mockingly and just,
That's why I think he was having like too much fun there with it. Like, it was like, no, like this is for the title, man. Like, if it was just a FP Tony Deppen one-on-one match, I thought this would have been perfect. I think this was just kind of missing the seriousness of it a little bit.
That echoes back to the whole, Monster of the Week style title defenses, that even though this should have been made a little bit more of a big deal because it was Tony, that it was just treated kind of as, a local hero style defense. So
like when Tony had that match against Nick Gage, the title opportunity, like he came out and cut that promo a week ahead of time and cut the promo of his life. And like, yeah, like that's the Tony I wanted to see going into this one. But oh well, it was what it was. And I'm still happy to see Tony Deppen.
I think it's different times, different what's the word for it when you have different responsibilities and whatnot kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he goes, you know what, I'll take the match. But I think the hungry Tony from 4 years ago, you know what, let's wrap this into something. I'm going to shoot some shit out on social media. And now it's like, I got a couple kids, I'm running a business, I've got a decent little thing going on here. I'll see you on Saturday or Sunday.
He feels like, I don't want to put words in Tony's mouth, obviously, but just his vibes give off the feeling of, this is me at playtime. This is me, I'm just going to have fun being the weekend warrior. Yeah, fuck you. I'm going to play the terrible songs, my entrance music. Fuck you. Fuck the crowd. Steal your hat. Toss your hats. I don't see it like it. It doesn't feel like Tony isn't happy with his spot now.
What that fire? No, I'm just kidding. No,
he's just too busy to really, invest as much. But I will say, when we're looking for hungry young people, I'm being fair here, but when we're looking for hungry young people, those kind of guys, though, are the first ones that I may consider replacing, because the hungry young ones would basically be the ones that would want to do the storylines. They would want to promote. So you see what I'm saying? And I don't want to say that's, because these golden boys, you don't touch this guy or that guy. No, I'm just saying, to be fair.
Tony's legacy as the gatekeeper for all time is secure. Like, that was the gold standard. If you couldn't have a good match with Tony, you couldn't have a good match in GCW. Like,
who is that person now?
I think it's still Tony. It's still Tony.
You know what I mean, though. Who do you think, though? I mean, outside of, I'll tell you what we do have. We have Tony Deppen's attitude in Zeta Steel. I do like that. I feel like I'm getting a mini Tony Deppen out of Zeta Steel. Yeah, there's a lot of females that have come through GCW with that bad girl attitude or that snotty attitude, and she's one of the few who have done it well. So that's another one right there.
Put it back up. Put that back up.
Gringo shows up.
That was my answer. Yeah, was Gringo before that came up. I was like, yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about Gringo, but it's Gringo.
There we go for the deathmatch scene. I consider that the same way for deathmatch scene.
Not even just deathmatch. Actually, Duke does so much. Like me and John were talking about this just in a random TM. It's like Duke and as part of the rejects with shit.
Microman?
No.
We could have the Weejacks.
Reed. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, Reed. I forgot your name. I don't see you that much. I apologize. Duke with Reed doesn't feel the same as Duke, the hardcore guy.
Right. Yeah. Good point. It's more like fun-loving times when it's Reed and Murdoch.
It feels when Murdoch and Reed Beverly are together, they feel like the two troublemakers in high school meeting back up at the 10-year reunion, and they're still assholes when they're together.
Yeah, and they're still getting high in the parking lot, and then they show up to the reunion and they're fucking tipping tables and spiking drinks.
Like because you see like when they're announced at a combined height of 10 feet 11 inches or something like that. Not as combined weight, it's combined height. That's the kind of comedy stuff that you don't see with Duke's by himself. But yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I had to get that out.
No, it was enjoyable as hell, man. Okay, so we'll go on to this next spot here. Joey came out to address Sabu. Joey said, we get Sabu in a GCW ring. We had Sabu chants that were going off. They were saying Sabu's going to kill you. But in the end, the important part here, we're going to get Joey Janela versus Sabu in a barbed wire match. How fitting that Sabu made his name in barbed wire, and that's the stipulation that we get. So really looking forward to that one live for the first time in my life ever. I'll be able to see Sabu live in barbed wire. And you know what? I'll take that over saying that I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Joey's actual quote during that promo was, we're going to take down these ropes and not put up chains, but put up barbed wire.
That was funny. I like that.
Shot across the bow, But no, I tweeted out that I think that was one of Joey's best promos that he's done ever.
I agree with that. I think this is the most interested and enjoyable I have found Joey the last couple of years. Like this little run here, like his passion and what he's been going through. I feel a different Joey here. Like how he said,
sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like how he said that Sabu awakened the beast in him. I feel like that's what's happened. And I've seen that happen, and I'm happy. I agreed with you. I don't know where I saw you post that or said that, but I saw that. I was like, yeah, I agree, because I wasn't a huge Joey fan. I thought he had his place in GCW when the whole title run was happening. I hope he wasn't getting it, because I just don't think him as the world champion at that time was a good thing. But this passion and like what he's been cutting promo wise and everything, and like even the video packages have been old school and fun. Like this is a joke. Like I feel this is the old school Joey that I've enjoyed back when I started watching GCW, and I'm happy to see it now.
We were afraid that Joey not being at 100% for this match was going to be a factor of us enjoying it. But I think these last couple of promos he cut on the match has really sold us like, okay, we're in good hands. He may not be at 100%. He may still have a busted wing, but I think he can get through barbed wire with Sabu. So
I'm remaining completely hopeful here that these guys know what they're doing. So for me, I always feel weird when someone is legitimately injured takes a bump here or bump there or whatnot. But if I take my personal feelings outside of it and my bullshit to always sink emotionally into anything that I see out of it, I should be able to kind of enjoy it here. But yeah, they're two professionals, man. I really do think that we're in good hands here. And between both of them, they're going to have some interesting ways to, I think there's going to be some interference. I think that's the only way to make it fun. I would like to know who interferes on whose behalf. But
or do you think it's one of those one-on-one becomes a run-in fest that merges into a tag team to save face?
I just think that we may see more than two people in this one show up. Like maybe someone from ECW runs down and just kind of delivers something and walks out. This is where I could see Bubba coming back, B's nemesis, and maybe just delivering something and walking out. Or possibly because Sabu did tables, there could be a table spot here somewhere, and you never know. Oh, yeah, Great One says the Kogars could possibly spark interference. You know what? That would put them over.
I think it's gonna be no contest. Damn it, Great One, you got me there. I was gonna get there. I was gonna say, like, I feel like after Atticus does whatever he does, like he still might come back and still have a little say here and maybe respark that. Because he has a little history with Sabu at Hammerstein as one of the last times we saw Atticus before he left. So yeah, there's a lot of ways they could go. But I was thinking the Kogars would, I was gonna disagree with you guys with all the run-ins, because I think the whole match is gonna happen like just them two. I don't think I see Joey's like, no, fuck it. Like, this is my moment. This is our match. It's going to be us two. Then at the end, needing that to get through with whatever they need to get to. But I think the way, like, what's in it? Sabu was moving pretty good in LA. So if he could move like that, now that's just moving, not taking bumps or anything else like that. I
Yeah.
understand. So that's going to be interesting to see. But like, I even seeing Sabu moving around that night, I was more invested into this feud because he looked healthy too. So yeah, I don't know. I think they're both willing to just, if it is Sabu's actually last match and he treats it like that, he's going to leave it out there. So I see this being kind of crazier than what you guys are expecting. I think it's going to be a little bit more nuts.
Yeah, well, here's an ode to crazy, possibly. Clown says Justice helped Sabu because of his connection with Fonzie. 100% true, and that would be so ECW.
Yeah.
One of their own comes out, and
Joey versus Justice would be nice.
Well, that could set up Joey versus Justice at a bigger show if they had a long view on stuff like that. Absolutely. And if that was done, there's a possibility that Sabu could be like, this is the guy, or he kind of christens one of the young people in by saying, hey, this motherfucker, he's the next Sabu kind of thing. Now that's going far, but this is a point where someone who is a Hall of Famer could put over one or two younger guys if there is some form of interference to do it. And what a better name to make it on the independent scene than Sabu.
That leads this. Sorry.
No. I was gonna say I was just gonna tighten up. Yeah,
that was perfect.
Everything there. Yeah.
Beautiful way to end it, John. All right. I'm gonna need you guys' help here on this next match. I'm gonna make myself look like a fool. Next match was Richard Holiday versus Breaker Morant.
This is a perfect one to talk about because there was somebody there at the show that was given Holiday all kinds of shit. So we'll get to that here. I'll get some notes in real quick. Welcome, Breaker Morant, retiring in 1 month, and we got to see him on GCW TV. That was awesome. I was really happy that there was a little bit of a movement there to make sure we could get him on the show. This is what GCW is about, are moments like this. Take it. Holiday grabs a mic, shits on the fan, shits on Breaker. He says, you can't lace my boots, and my boots don't have any laces. That's total Holiday. Fans in one section were very disruptful to Holiday. He acknowledges it, and I thought that was funny. He says he wants to have a funny match because that's what we have at GCW, funny matches. So I'll stop right there for a second because I wrote here fans were riding Holiday. Frank, could you tell us more about those fans that were riding Holiday?
It's just, it was my section, but I was, for the most part, was not part of this chicanery, except for one big one, but we'll leave that out. It was, people just fucking hate Richard Holiday, and just heckling the shit out of him is just the easiest thing just to pass the time during these matches. We were talking about put your fucking shirt tag in or take your shirt off, and then as soon as he takes his shirt off, yelling about his pepperoni nipples and put the shirt back on, and Holiday's a classic you people heel through and through, and it's just kind of tiring. He's just cutting at you people every fucking week, and it's just
all right. I thought this whole match was a big troll, like between the commentary, Holiday. But this is my ignorance. This is completely this is where I'm gonna make myself look like a complete fool. Like I felt that entire time, like this is leading to something else coming because the way they were hyping up Breaker on the commentary, which was good. Like, I mean, they did a good job, but I've never heard of this guy before. So, and
I believe he was a friend of Emil's. So.
And when Emil was like, "That's he's the reason I got into the business and everything." Like, I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what is going on here? Like, is this a troll match? Like, something's going to be coming on here. Like, this match is going to.
I think the crowd, from my vibes that I gathered there, it felt like, okay, this is this guy's one GCW match, so let's give him the GCW fan experience. Let's give him the hero's welcome.
And I'm glad it turned out that way.
And I think that's what it was. I don't think they were, save for the run-in at the end with you're obviously you're leading up to the Paro run-in at the end of the match. Did we even get to that, John?
No. I think I'm still talking about I think what got me was the
John, finish the play-by-play, and then we'll get back to this argument.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, if you say so. All right. So we'll go. Yeah. Paro is back. He's in the ring. Fans chant, "You fucked up." Pero hits a huge choke slam, and Holiday is out. Breaker slaps in his finisher, which is a torture rack into a neck breaker. Looked awesome. He covers for 3. So our winner here was Breaker Morant, 13-minute match. I am going to jump on something before you two kind of go back and forth here. Number one, if Pero goes over long term, I would almost say that Holiday could come out and go, look, I mean, I'm basically taking people that you guys don't even want, and I'm turning it into good guy. He could just say he's a face maker for all we know. Also, I like the idea of the run-in on sometimes these guys who are towards the end of their career, especially when there's some form of that, because you guys could just go, you know what, let's go until you gas out. We'll call in the guy. So you know what I mean? We could go until Breaker was gassed, and then he's like, you know what, we're 11 minutes in. Let's stop here. I did my best. Referee goes, send in the beef. Pero comes out. You know, what were your thoughts now, guys? I'm going to step back and let you two go at it here.
Like the only storyline implications was that Pero came in and you know, came in and fucked up Holiday at the end. But beyond that, like even Jim says, it's like Holiday's too easy to hate. And I think he means that he's so one-dimensionally a you know, I'm from the rich part of town kind of heel. Fuck all you know, losers that come to wrestling shows. It's so one-dimensional, it becomes farcical, and people just kind of lose the plot on him.
I feel like he's kind of taken over the Cardona role too as an easy heel to get that kind of heat, but I feel like it's a little different heat that he's getting compared to Cardona.
No, he's definitely getting the X-Pac heat. He's not getting the like Cardona was absolutely getting the fuck you heat, but he was getting the heat from a place of love, from a place of the Greek chorus, from a place of the we're gonna be part of this storyline and boo the heel. But I think it's actually just go away heat with Holiday.
From Holiday. I don't never heard of Breaker, so I thought
I haven't either, and I apologize. My knowledge is not that deep either, so you know, Reed says he's a legend. I was
still waiting, like, who's gonna come out? Like, this is not the real thing. This guy, like, there's like he's held multiple champions, been to Japan. I'm like, but now as the match played out, I'm like, oh, okay, he can really wrestle. Maybe this is like legit. And then they said like NWA championships. I was like, he held his own, but him getting the victory, I was like, whoa, like what is going on here? And as this is his going away retirement, like that's awesome. It's cool, but for me, it just felt like there was something else going on. And I don't know. I kind of hope that was maybe the last time we do see Holiday laid out in the middle of the ring like that by Pero. I would be cool with that as well, because I kind of feel the same way. As of right now, his kind of character is kind of getting stale and kind of doing the same old shit that Mason was doing, or the same old shit that he's been doing for a while. I think you just need to change it up. And I don't know. I would rather even see Pero move on to something else and be kind of showcase more of a monster. All right. That will lead us into our main event, as it was Slade versus Bam Sullivan.
Unexpected. Brett said Bev was injured on another show. What a show that was. We had trash cans, metal barriers, chairs, doors, barbed wire doors. Brett was claiming that he saw Slade doing circles at the racetrack earlier in the morning. That was very different, and I like the creativity there. I have the winner here in less than 12 minutes as Slade, and I just put that was a main event. And back to you guys.
That was a match, TM. You know, that's it. It was a, you know, smash and bash hardcore main. It didn't need to be anything more than it was. It was just the main on a Sunday afternoon card. Like we said, you know, it was there. It was there.
I was, as you said, kind of said, John, at the beginning, at the intro of this match, when Bev was I didn't know how hurt he was, and he was missing the show. So when I saw Slade and Bam Sullivan, I was like, no, and like kind of the wind taken out of my sails there. And they kind of did their own thing, but it was just a match. Like there was no story. There's no
I'm not hating on either of these guys.
Exactly. I'm just saying, like, they just were kind of given a shitty situation, went out there and kind of had a main event. Like this could have been in the middle of the card, and like would maybe been a little bit different the way we're talking about it. But the way to end the night was kind of after everything we've seen, a little let down, I think, especially after maybe possibly expecting what we were expecting with Bev and Slade.
I think this is just that classic. We were looking for more star power in the main event. That's nothing against either gentleman. It just felt like very much like a higher or mid-tier JCW match. And yeah, kind of surprising that this is where it landed. But again, we're doing the best with what we have. And this is where it landed.
Bev, sorry, I keep talking over you guys tonight.
You're
If
good,
it
brother.
was Bev, I think we wouldn't have that thought of JCW stink on this card that we got off of it.
I agree.
Well, I was looking at all the matchups and I'm like, okay, JCW, somebody versus JCW, somebody else versus a JCW person. You know, like, so that's kind of where I drew that from.
I'm kind of the mindset that, yes, this was a JCW card 4 years ago, but people graduate and people move up in the world.
Yeah.
So, I'm not as hard on the card that way that you're talking about. Like, oh, we saw this match at 2:00 on a Sunday in the carousel room 3 years ago. But
and now we're seeing it today.
But like you said, it was just the star power in the main just wasn't there. And if there was, Slade and Bam are not storyline guys right now. Slade and Bam are both just hammers to come in and beat the shit out of somebody in a hardcore match.
And they did that.
They did exactly what they did. Yeah.
But there was people didn't have stakes in the match, I think is the way I want to phrase that.
Yeah.
It was just there and it happened. It wasn't people, there's no implications of that match 3 months from. Nobody's going to remember this match 3 months from now.
And my thing is, it's like, it's the last match heading into Collective. Like, that has nothing to do with Collective, and that's just unfortunate.
If Bev was there, if Bev was there, there was gonna probably be some sort of TOS style, I'm coming for you kind of promo,
or hardcore, cage match or something. Yeah. I agree. I think that's the only thing that kind of took it away, but no fault on that.
Wow. We did that shit.
Speed running tonight.
Hey, seriously though, that wasn't bad. We're only ever asked to do an hour show, so I think we do pretty darn good here. But yeah, we only had one show, and that show happened to be a Sunday morning or a Sunday afternoon JCW kind of show. What else can you really say about it? Anything else you really want to say about it, guys?
It happened. It was there. We saw a show. But kind of the lame duck go home. It didn't have that oomph that most go homes usually have. And I think B's been pounding that drum tonight about that was all we got for a go home. Like,
for some reason, like if I don't like, maybe Bam got there late and that's why I had to be the main event. But if I know like that's not going into that card, like
I saw somebody mention that
I'd have put Tremont and Ruckus at the main event.
I saw somebody in the chat saying something about they put Effie at, what was it? Effie was at 6 because he had a flight to catch.
Yeah,
and that's why they moved Bam and Slade to the bottom.
But even then, I would have still put Tremont. We don't know any of that stuff happening. Like,
if
we don't. Possible, I would have put Tremont Ruckus at the end of the night with the main event match, 2 legends. And so Bam was saying, not Bam. Sorry, Reed. You said that was a first time ever matchup. Like, I think that's what I heard on commentary too. But that's a crazy Tremont Ruckus 1-on-1 for the first time. That's I loved everything they kind of did, like Tremont with the picture and everything. The little story they told before that.
Mm-hmm.
Jim said it was what it was. Still had a good time. I was gonna say live. I'm still. That was a pretty good show. It was just different than what we're used to.
Yeah,
the vibe was different. I don't have a way to describe.
There was still a lot of people missing because there was a lot of people in Chicago for ICW. A lot of those South Jersey regulars that would have added a little bit more raucousness were definitely still out in the Midwest. So, we didn't have some of the normal chud influence, if you will, at some of these South Jersey Philly shows that would have brought some of that more noise. We're just not there because they were out watching ICW. So,
man, oh man, Yeah, it just felt weird. I'm happy that they did try to advance a couple storylines though, in one way or another, just to give us more to bite on. But I tell you this much right now, if GCW and the people who have storylines swirling for the next week and a half aren't throwing out some types of promos or something, they'd be missing a golden opportunity. So, I mean, and again, now that GCW or, Brett is GCW, now that Brett has kind of said there is an initiative and we're looking to freshen things up, now is the time to make sure that you matter, because if not, you may be one of the first people that don't get as many phone calls, because here comes that hot star who is bringing his own weapons to the show, or he's coming with 30 ideas and 28 of them are going to get shot down. There are hungry people lined up right behind you. So yeah, give the fans, you know what I mean? Sell these tickets, make it happen. And the fans are waiting. Las Vegas fans are waiting. It's been 2 years, and then we have all of the WWE universe descending upon us here. It's going to be a big thing, and tickets are still available for this one by far. So yeah, I'd say get out there and get a ticket if you haven't already, because there's plenty that are of a decent price for sure that can be found, especially for a spring break. Yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
If you only see one indie mud show, tack on show for Mania, go watch Spring Break.
Oh, what's B saying? Oh, he's got the crossed arms and the no. He's giving you the dad disappointed look.
I feel a rant coming in.
No, clusterfuck for me, like that. I'm actually looking forward to clusterfuck. The way they ended last year's, and like I thought it was a perfect bow on the whole weekend. I agree with you though, Frank. Action wise, Spring Break is what I'm looking forward to the most, especially obviously what's going to happen with the mystery partner, and I just don't see how there's no way Effie's belt is not on there. Maybe they still do something with Megan Bain. I still think there's a lot of stories that are going to be told, and yeah, I think Spring Break is going to be fun for me. Bloodsport's picked up too strong. Bloodsport is very much up there as well. Like once they had, even before Zack Sabre versus Gresham, they had a lot of good matchups, but that was the icing on the cake, obviously, for me as well.
And then also Reed Harris Cooper said there's been some announcements today. One of them is the after party, Joey Janela's after party that's going to be at the Nerd Bar. There are tickets available for that if anybody wants to check that out.
They're going to be after Heels Have Eyes?
No. After Spring Break, I guess most of
it looks to be concurrent with like going against Heels Have Eyes. So it says after Spring Break, directly after Spring Break. So I can only assume that they're running it against Heels Have Eyes.
No, I'm going to Heels Have Eyes. That one I'm looking forward to too. That looks fun.
Man, oh man, yeah. And then Maven was also announced, which Maven. Maven. All right. Anything else that you can think of that we wanted to
What
discuss?
are you looking forward to Collective Weekend?
First and foremost is going to be Spring Break, then the clusterfuck, then the Super Show.
The Super Show, yeah.
Super Show's another one, yeah. Suzuki Butterbean.
So that's
sorry, man. Like that,
are wild, man.
I'm in. I was like, when that match was announced, I was like, oh my god! And I finally get to go to Hitchcock this year. Finally,
I forgot Suzuki Butterbean was a match. Jesus Christ.
GCW has nothing to do with For the Culture. Like it's not For the Culture. It's Heels Have Eyes. I'm still going to that show. That show is going to look.
It's still called For the Culture, so I can only assume it's the number 4 because it's being run by Fourth Rope, but I can only assume that it's a continuation of the old GCW For the Culture shows. So
interesting.
I didn't see that.
But
it's a show called For the Culture on a GCW collective card. I can only assume in some way, shape, or form they have the blessing for the Culture name.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the 3 I'm really looking forward to. And I bought tickets before even one match was announced for the Super Show, just based on the previous cards from the previous years. You just have to look at who's been on them and you go, okay, there's going to be some bangers on here. I might as well see some real wrestling over the weekend. This is going to be one of the few shots to really see some tight ass technical wrestling. And yeah, I want to be there for a good chunk of that. Speaking of tight ass wrestling that I'm really kind of looking for, that's a terrible way to say it, but
phrasing. Are we still doing phrasing?
This is terrible. I feel, but the women at TJPW technically are also going to be some of the best wrestling you're going to see that weekend inside the Palms. No shit. Better watch out. No kidding. American women, watch the hell out, because these Japanese women are complete badasses. And I feel terrible that I said it that way. It even branched, but honestly, I want to give the ladies of TJPW their due, because I don't think enough people know who they are. And you go out there and you watch some highlights, or you see a show or two, and you go, man, these women are beating the shit out of each other. And if you want to see some wrestling that has a little bit of stiffness to it, you're going to get it from them. And don't sleep on them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I remember last year we talked about like how like surprisingly good that show was, because like we didn't know too much of the talent or anything, and then the in-ring was just crazy, and like yeah, the presentation and everything that TJPW does is awesome as well.
Well, let's see. We got to pull up the actual full schedule for the weekend now. So we have,
I think the first one of the weekend is Defy.
Or no, it's Wednesday afternoon ID, WWE ID.
That's right. That doesn't even like register in my head. I don't know why.
Isn't that wild? Isn't it wild that GCW is hosting a WWE sanctioned event like that?
Okay, there's two schools of thought here. One is get WWE out of my independence, and then the other one is, you know what? It's nice to see the most legit company in professional wrestling today tied to GCW. To me, it kind of gives it a little more legitimacy. This isn't just a warehouse wrestling company. This is a wrestling company where the WWE can say, you know what, let me hand you a handful of matches, stars, and we trust that you're going to take care of them appropriately. And that's what's happening here. So there's a level of maturity here that I like to see when it comes to GCW, just like Bloodsport. There's a level of maturity to handle things like that, and I'm happy to see that we have that.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was sorry, no, it's we agree with everything, and we're terrible. We're a terrible debate show because we agree with so much on this shit. So we have Thursday. It's Defy. 3 o'clock Defy, then the WrestleCon Super Show, which B you were just talking about a minute ago. Bloodsport 13, and then Progress has the midnight slot on Thursday into Friday. Progress seems like it's going to be just one of those other shows that people are going to be sleeping on a minute until it actually gets out there. Friday it's going to be TJPW, DDT, Spring Break, and then Heels Have Eyes at midnight, and then Saturday is Big A Brunch, the GCW, TJPW, DDT Super Show, and then the Clusterfuck on late Saturday. So.
Yeah, my focus has been that Super Show because that's the first day at like 5. My second day is 8 o'clock for Janela, and then the midnight show, man. Gotta always go to a midnight show if it's collective, just because those fucking shows are just, I don't know. I've always said that going to a
night court. It
feels naughty.
Absolutely night court. I sat in Dallas at 2 a.m. for 2 nights in a row watching Planet Death and then the Clusterfuck, and it is a different plane of existence after 11 o'clock when a show is starting that late.
Emo night was probably the funnest night in LA Collective for me, man. That was fun. Seeing Los Precisos going against was it I forgot their name. Mao and Speedball. But emo night like that, the crowd was into it. They were tired, but they were just like delirious. But hey, we're gonna have fun tonight.
Emo night, I think they lost the plot a little bit on that specific emo night versus the emo night that happened a couple of years ago in New York. I think that people were a little bit more on theme at that emo night versus the tack on Mania version of emo night.
And the concerts kind of took the sales out too, I think.
I want to toss a little question across to both of you real quick. What if we turn Planet Death into the official JWM1? and we have Murdoch book the talent and have his own death match, and we maybe just do like an 8-person tournament, like a 1-day 8-person. Well, see, that's a lot. That'd blow the shit out of quite a few shows, but 8 people, 3 hours. That's not bad.
Anyway, I could get Planet Death back. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, same thing. 8 people, 7 matches. I mean, the expense is really in the weapons. But
is Vegas a commission town?
Vegas is wide fucking open, bro.
Okay. I was trying to think.
It's funny.
I was trying to think maybe that was the reason why there wasn't a Planet Death, because maybe Vegas was a commission town, but you're saying it's not. So
wide open here, and it's funny because honestly, the Vegas fans still don't know how to take deathmatch here. No kidding. Some people are really surprised by deathmatch when they see it for the first time, and you can tell the first timers at these shows.
The squeamish ones, yeah.
Yeah, or like the first light tube breaks, and you're like, whoa. You see people like, oh my gosh, and it's like there's 64 more in this match to go, guys. You better settle in.
Okay,
you know?
Great one answered my question for me before I even got to it, asking if New Orleans was going to be a commission town issue, and he says it is the commission town. So great. Oh well, there goes that. So
Reed Harris Cooper has the next little point here. The Palms. Brett already had said they're going to try to be a little more responsible at the Palms just because they want to respect the venue itself. Yeah, so that's what's going to happen here. I just want to see the place fill up. I know there's still tickets available, and I know that there's going to be a lot of fans that are going to be looking to do something outside.
Well, we had the same argument for Hammerstein. We had the same argument that filled up very well. So
it did, and we only have a week and a half to go. So I'm really hoping we see some tickets start flowing in soon, because we're at 10 days and under for quite a few of these shows.
Mm-hmm.
Man, same thing here. Great one said the Silver Nugget. Dude, hey, Frank, the acoustics in the Silver Nugget is like a 1970s wedding hall, and everything bounces, and just the fucking crowd there just goes, because they're feeding off their own reverb. The place just gets louder and louder.
Wow.
And also, again, that's a historical place, because I think that was the first place to use light tubes in the United States, I believe. Was Sabu and someone else off the top of my head. I know Great One knows that answer very well, but yeah, I would have loved to have done the Silver Nugget because we're very comfortable with it, dude. It's an indoor outdoor kind of place where you can easily just walk outside and party and come right back in.
It's getting hot though, man, for the Silver Nugget.
Well, dude, the Silver Nugget's nice when someone turns on the air conditioning, but that was not GCW's fault that weekend, if you ask me. Because sometimes it seems like the only time it doesn't work when they're local shows. I don't know why. Yeah, let's not let that hang too hard, guys. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, just I think there's going to be a fun collective week here.
We're technically under 2 months for TOS as well, so
that's even crazier.
Like we're just under 60 days, I think, to TOS.
I should have put a countdown up here tonight instead. That would have been a nice collective countdown and a TOS countdown. That would have been cool.
Yeah, collective.
Maybe some other day.
Next week.
Well, I'll just say that we have a whole lot going on and a whole lot of planning going up to the collective. So just stay up on our socials. By all means, follow Close Calls, follow me, follow GCW Plant Podcast there. We're going to be very busy people, I believe, around the collective time. So yeah, just kind of pay attention. We're going to keep the news going 100% for GCW, and I will both be in attendance all over that collective weekend as much as possible. So we do want to see some listeners that maybe will never make it out west past this time. Please come say hi. I definitely want to say hi to you. Really, like, thank you so much, because you're the reason why we do this. If no one listened, what would there be? You know,
we would be 3 more guys on another podcast that people don't listen to. That's
Exactly. That's exactly what it'd be. But yeah, from less than 10 people all the way to hundreds. Now we're looking at thousands. Just thank you so much for all of the time that you decide to spend with us, especially on these late Tuesday nights like this. it's the best time for B, especially, I will say that. And we also like kind of being a late night show. So we come from the times where sometimes, dude, if you're up past 11 p.m., your fucking night is shot. You're watching infomercials and shit. So it's kind of nice for people to have GCW fans to have something to do midweek.
It's not nice for people like Frank on the East Coast.
Yeah, you East Coast fuckers have no excuse. I'm doing this from the easternmost point of the United States, so fuck all y'all. I'm up the latest out of anybody here.
I was about to say, these East Coast people, like, that's why I was like, I'm surprised some of these guests stay on with this from the East Coast. It's like, you guys know what time it is over there?
Oh, dude, I can tell you right now that I just looked at demographics, like almost 15% of our listeners are from Japan, which this is primetime morning for Japan right now, I believe, if I look at it properly. So, I mean, another thing, just demographics wise out there, 38% of our listeners are female. So I just want any of the female listeners to know out there, you are not alone. You are just a little underrepresented still, but well over 1 out of 3 are there. So by any means, don't think that you're the only one at all. What else was there? Was there anything else worth mentioning?
Shit, yeah. I went all night and I was the one who got hit by the bug, but nobody noticed. I called attention to myself. Nobody would have noticed.
No, nobody would have known shit.
We had grudge here. More East Coast than you.
We gotta fight.
No, I'm just looking excited. Looking forward to Collective next week. Yeah, we don't know what we're doing next week.
I'm surprised you're saying how much. 30% of.
There we go.
30% of people from. Or wait, how many people?
15 from Japan.
15% of our listeners are from Japan. Wow.
Yeah.
15%. So. I just wanted to
reach out. Say hi if you're listening from Japan. Say hi. Reach out to us on Twitter. We want to say hi to you guys.
Yeah, they reach out. I forgot what company.
I had a couple tweets I had to translate to when I retweeted when I posted Tremod's cartwheel. I had a couple tweets that I had to translate to figure out what they were saying. So.
And 1 in 4, almost 1 in 3 are international listeners. So right behind Japan would be England. I think it was 9.5%. So yeah, easily 1 out of 4 listeners are international, not even in our borders. We're across all but Antarctica. We're listened in every other continent. So I just
check that one in a minute.
Yeah, that's another one we'll have to look at. But last we checked, we were listened to.
If you're listening from McMurdo Station, we want proof.
Right, that's hey. I have screenshots.
I'll tell you. I'll send you afterwards. I'll tell you the craziest spot we've been listened to.
Yeah. So I mean, everything has been wonderful, and I want to make sure again we just thank everyone for just coming on here and spending time because I just feel like the night is special.
Thank you to everybody except Reed Harris Cooper. Fuck you in particular.
Fight. Reed's awesome, man. I freaking love Reed. Reed is always here with us, and Reed is almost like that contrarian that for some reason he's more right than a broken clock. He'll hit some shit sideways on us, and it's right. He was like, dude, what if Nick Gage doesn't show up in the main event? And then that day he did not show up in the main event. So we really have to pay attention. I think he has some tarot cards that he's fucking with or something, maybe some crystals or candles. But
what if Nick Gage was Alec Price's mystery partner?
See, there we go. It's possible. You never know, but yeah.
All right. I think that we have tonight. Shorter night, guys. We only had one show, and we will stay in touch. Yes, to our socials, because with next week no show to cover. Heading into Collective, we are gonna keep our options open and keep your eyes out on our socials, and we'll let you keep you updated on what's gonna happen for next week's show.
Frankie spoke it into existence. Havoc just said. TJ said that. It's going to happen. Here we go.
It's going to happen now. Nick Gage is going to be at spring break as Alec Price's partner. You heard it here first, folks.
All right. Well, I would say thank you so much. We have an exceptionally smaller show. We've only went 100 and 160% past where we normally are supposed to go. So we did good there. I don't think we've ever done a show under an hour 20, and we were only supposed to do an hour ever, you know?
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't think this might be one of our shortest ones.
We have opinions about professional wrestling, and we express them. That's all they need to hear, really.
Oh, me and Frank can fight next week. Oh, he's got his tongue out too, Frank. I don't know how close you want to get. Reed's a lover, not a fighter. You better watch out. All right. Let's do this, guys. I think we just been kind of talking just to talk.
All right, here we go. Thank you all again, and check out our socials. All right, here we go.
Long.
Hey. Live. G. C.
W. Good night. Love y'all.